Hello people, welcome to the channel. UFC 300 main event was announced after UFC 298 went down this past weekend. The main event is Jamahal Hill versus Alex Pereira. Alex is defending his belt at 205 for the first time, but before we get into this main event, I want to talk about Leon Edwards. Dana said Leon was offered 3 opponents ahead of UFC 300, and he said yes to all of them. I'm going to go over who I think they are. Some of them might surprise you, some of them might not. I think they're pretty obvious. And I did leave one out. I think there actually could have been an argument, but I'm gonna talk about it later in the video. So, Leon Edwards, ahead of UFC 300, was offered, I think, Islam Makhachev for a double champ fight, but I think Islam said no due to Ramadan. I think he was offered the Balal fight, but I don't think Balal was told. I think he said yes, but I think Dana probably himself went, I can't have Balal versus Leon headline UFC 300 after all the promises I've made. And I think he was probably offered Shavkat, and Shavkat probably said no because it was short notice, depending on when he was offered. Now, I think Leon, and I love Islam, I think Leon has a good chance of winning all these fights just out of he has the size advantage on Islam. I think he takes Balal, but Balal would be a really good fight. And I think Shavkat, I think he could beat Leon, but I think it would be a very tough fight and a very close decision, maybe. But I also want to talk about some of the matchups. As you see, Leon is here twice, that I would have preferred to the main event that we got. I would have loved that Shavkat fight if Shavkat was willing to do it. And now I'm guessing, who knows, maybe it wasn't Shavkat, it could have been Khamzat. I think it was probably Khamzat over Balal, if anything. But I really think that Dana may have offered that Balal fight. I don't know, I just have a feeling. But Khamzat not fighting due to Ramadan would have been a fun fight. I think Leon would probably win by decision. I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but I don't think Khamzat can hang with him for 5 rounds, and I don't think he would finish him in 1. So I would probably go with Leon to win that, and I think it would be super, super entertaining, super fast-paced, because I think Khamzat would force it to be fast-paced. And Leon Shavkat, it's kind of like it's just seeing if anyone can beat Shavkat at this point, you know, the same kind of mystique with Khamzat. But let's talk about this main event. I hate it. I love the fight. I think it'll be a decent fight. But I don't like that it's on short notice. It's on like 50 days notice or 55 days notice. I think that is especially bad for Jamahal Hill coming off of that really, really bad Achilles. I think he ruptured his Achilles, tore his Achilles. That is a vicious injury to come off of, especially it only being like 9 months before this fight will end up going down. And we all know Jamahal Hill gets really big outside of camp. I doubt he was training, riding the scooter around the PI and around the fucking Apex. I just don't think Jamahal Hill has been heavy in the gym as much as he probably should be. I think Alex Pereira doesn't leave the gym. He's chasing this whole I want to defend my belt, back to back as fast as anyone ever has, like faster than anyone's ever defended a belt. So I think Alex Pereira is now, he has something more to work for, even though he's already a double champ. And I just think he's hungry, and I think he's hungry right now, where I think Jamahal Hill, he was only offered this fight like a couple of days ago and accepted it, and it was made final at UFC 298. He came out in an interview at UFC 298 and said that. So I think prior to this, he was probably on the couch, recovering from his injury. I don't know how much he was, in the gym, training, like hard rounds, really putting the work back on that ankle and back on that leg to, make it as stable as possible for when he comes back. Because, if he's coming back, like basically he's fully recovered from the injury, hopping straight into a training camp, which is, from my understanding, what's happening. That's really not good. He's not going to have that time and that, just that time weight bearing on that leg for long enough, especially, explosive movements. like fighting, throwing kicks, checking kicks, stuff like that. I think it's bad news for Jamahal Hill. Early prediction, of course, are going to break it down when the fight happens, but I think Alex Pereira is going to chin him brutally. I think he's going to eat up the legs, and I don't like this fight for Jamahal Hill. I don't like Jamahal Hill. I really want to see him get chinned by Alex Pereira. I'm not going to lie. Let me know what you guys think of UFC 300, the main event. The card is now basically set. They said they have one more like mid-tier fight for the card. Curious to see what that's going to be. The bout order is probably going to come out relatively soon. We know that Cody Garbrandt versus Davison Figueiredo is going to open the card. We know that it's Alex Pereira, and then I believe it's Yan Xiaonan versus Zhang Weili, and then the BMF title with Holloway and Gaethje. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of the card. I just dropped my phone. That's what that noise was. Let me know what you guys think of the card overall. I think it's a pretty good card. This is a bummer main event compared to what we could have had if he, prioritized getting the main event earlier and not stacking all the cards up to it. But I made a video in the past saying this, so I stand by it, that I prefer having 3 massive pay-per-views in a row rather than UFC 300 being like out of this world crazy, So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like this video if you agree with anything I said, and subscribe if you love all things MMA. Thank you so much for watching, and go sleep.